Hey, everybody. Welcome back into Locked On Bama. It's going to be another big day. Look, a lot has been going on. Alabama men's basketball plays against Spain. Practice is still going on. Lots of recruiting news about upcoming commitment announcements. So we got to talk about all that. Oh, yeah, and a coach's poll. Alabama does okay on these things. So hang tight. We're going to come back with Locked On Bama.
Locked On Bama, your daily podcast on the Alabama Crimson Tide. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hey, everybody, and welcome back into Locked On Bama. Luke Robinson, that's me. Jimmy Stein, that's him. Jimmy, how are you today?
Good. Visiting New Orleans, the home of many huge Alabama wins.
Oh, very true. Yeah, that's a definite. I want to thank you for making us your first listen. You guys are the absolute best. I say that with all truthfulness. We do love you guys very, very much. Let's start with Alabama basketball, Jimmy, just because they played a game. They played against Spain. Alabama won by 40-something points. I mean, they just obliterated them, which I kind of knew would happen because I had an inkling after watching Auburn and Israel the first game they played. I thought this tour maybe some blowouts involved. Maybe Alabama will get a test because I want them to. But the biggest news out of there was Brandon Miller's name is not Brandon Miller. It is David Diaz Herrero. And if you don't think I'm getting a jersey with Diaz Herrero on the back, you out of your dang mind.
That was a humorous sidelight to when his name was officially changed by the app that was giving people information about the game. But I could do the whole show on that game because I paid a lot of attention to it, considering it wasn't on. I didn't see it. I didn't even keep up with the play-by-play. I was just refreshing the official men's basketball feed when I had the opportunity. First of all, let's not make too much of the big win. I don't know who they were playing. I don't think this is the Olympic team that Spain's going to enter into the Olympics or the World Championships. I don't think they're those guys. For all we know, we just crushed the equivalent of, State's JV team. I mean, it's possible. On the other hand, I don't know. Maybe this is the team that at least spars against the Spanish Olympic team. I don't know. I just know I wouldn't make too much of it because we don't know. But what we can make a lot of, Luke, is guessed, not out there, but I guessed in my head that the lineup today, the starting lineup, would be the veterans Sears at point guard, but Namari Burnett at the 2 guard, and Darius Miles at the small forward, and Gurley, at the power forward, and Bediako at center. I was only right about 2 of these spots because the other 3 went to freshmen. I think that is the message. I think that's Nate Oates saying, I'm playing the best players. I don't care how old or young they are. I'm playing the best players. And then those freshmen back with good games. I mean, Miller and Griffin, 2 true freshmen, were the high scorers. And knowing that they sat a lot of minutes. I mean, of course they did, because it was such a blowout. They could have, if they played all 40 minutes, there's no telling what Miller and Griffin would have ended up with. Noah Clowney, I thought statistically had a good game too. Bediako game. Again, we don't know the matchup. For all we know, Spain's center is my Spanish doppelganger. He's the 5'7" Spanish Jimmy Stein over there matched up against Bediako, for all we know. But so again, I wouldn't read too much into it like this team is gonna be awesome. But what we can see, obviously, is Nate Oates is a believer in these freshmen.
Yeah, I agree with you to an extent. I'd be willing to bet the next game they play, we'll see a different starting lineup. I'm just thinking he's toying with it, going to massage this thing and see what's the best way to go. And like you said, don't glean too terribly much from this. I mean, it was obvious this Spanish team was overmatched. Regardless, I think the point of trips like these, and I'd be willing to bet that some of my Auburn friends who followed Auburn's trip to Israel would say the same thing. It's about team building. I mean, yeah,
Right.
you want to win. Auburn lost today, but if I were an Auburn fan, I'd feel better about losing today.
I watched 3 minutes of that game. The first 2 minutes of it, I'm like, Auburn is playing against 35-year-old Israeli grown men pro athletes, and one of the dudes literally in the NBA.
That's right.
And no, that Israeli team, I was in terms of outcome of game. I'm just being honest. I'll say you should be more impressed by Auburn playing that Israeli team close than Alabama blowing out that Spain team sight unseen. Auburn was playing.
Auburn beating the two other Israeli teams. Yeah, I agree.
Right. So, I mean, but that's neither here nor there. It's not about them. It's about what Alabama is doing and what Alabama is developing freshmen. And I'm excited about the season, though I'm still going to be slow to put like a one-loss total on it because it is such a freshman-dependent team. But it's fun to get excited about those guys.
Jimmy, I need to tell everybody about LinkedIn. I'm going to do that right now. As you gear up for the fall, you need the right people on your team to help your business fire on all cylinders. LinkedIn Jobs is here to make it easier for you to find the people you want to talk to faster and for free. These are the people that will help your business, and you need to go speak to them. Create a free job post in minutes on LinkedIn Jobs to reach your network and beyond to the world's largest professional network of over 810 million people. Then add your job in the purple hashtag hiring frame to your LinkedIn profile to spread the word that you're hiring so your network can help you find the right people to hire. LinkedIn Jobs helps you find the candidates you want to talk to, and it helps you do this faster. Did you know every week nearly 40 million job seekers visit LinkedIn? Post your job for free at linkedin.com/lockedoncollege. That's linkedin.com/lockedoncollege. Terms and conditions may and will apply. All right, Jimmy. Coach's poll comes out. Alabama number one. I assume this. I wonder, is our streak of being ranked number one at some time in the season, is that AP only or is that any poll?
I'm not sure. Off the top of my head, I would tell you AP only, but let's go ahead and be the spoilers. Alabama's going to be number one in the AP poll too. All you have to do is look at the votes. Yeah. I mean, I love to rip on our own fans from time. The worst element is the even after all the success, we don't get any respect fan. We practically are number one by unanimous vote. They're sick of us and they still vote us number one. I mean, Alabama gets huge respect. If they were, we probably voted number one in the NFC South.
You know what's funny is we get so much respect. People are like, we're going to give Texas a number one vote just so when Alabama beats them, it'll sort of look better. I guess
that's funny. It'll be funny. But hey, this is the way I've looked at that Texas game, and I saw a dude on Fire Mom today said we beat Texas by 47. Alabama did not play great on the road last year in any game. Mississippi State. And lost in Texas to an 8-4 team. Nearly lost to a Florida team on the road. That Florida team fired their coach. Nearly lost to the worst team in years and nearly lost. I'm not trash talking any team Alabama's playing on the road until I see Alabama conquer the road, because it was a struggle last year, and we all know Alabama must have been pretty good. They came in second place.
Just really quickly running down the poll, because we'll spend the whole third segment talking about some of these recruitment commitment announcements. Alabama 1, Georgia 3, Texas A&M 7. I'm just going over SEC folks here. And then you have a big gap until you get to it's very SEC-centric towards the end. Kentucky 21, Arkansas 23, and Ole Miss 24. So, the SEC looking all right. I hope Arkansas beats Cincinnati. Cincinnati's ranked way on up there, if I remember right. I got to find them. Maybe they're not too far.
They're
about 22. Yeah, I said way on up there. Way on up there in comparison to Tulane, I guess. But regardless, the streak will continue, even if you don't consider it continuing right now based on the coaches poll. The streak will continue with the AP poll. There's no doubt Alabama will be number one there too. I think the AP poll will look a lot like this, at least on the top side. So not a lot of drama, but still a very proud record for Alabama to keep holding on to. Next year, could be the year that record get broken. I'm not, you lose a lot of people again. You're going to have a brand new quarterback, going to have a brand new no Will Anderson. That's scary to me. And all that kind of stuff. But anyway, we'll talk about that later. Let's go ahead and take a break. When we come back, we're going to talk about some of these commitment announcements that some of them were surprising. All right, Jimmy. So a few commits have said when they're going to be announcing. Jordan Renaud has come out with a date. This is a guy and he's down to two. He's down to Alabama and he's down to Oklahoma. His commitment date is September 19th. A bit of a, boy, he's really putting it on out there. I mean, I figure if you're going to make a commitment announcement date, like it'll be soon. Like I'm committing next week. He's like, I'm committing in 5 weeks.
It's like when it's like when Argentina took the Falkland Islands from Great Britain in the early '80s, and there was a question like, "Hey, are y'all actually going to go fight a war against Argentina over these useless islands?" And Britain said, "You're damn right. We will see them in 7 weeks," because that's about how long it took in the early '80s to get their military crap all the way down the other side of the world. Y'all see you in 7 weeks, sir.
The hardest thing was staying mad for 7 weeks. I mean, if somebody's going to go to war with you, you kind of want to do it that afternoon.
Yeah, where it does wear off. But we'll Jordan Renaud. There's two ways to look at that date, Luke. One is, gosh, he's just getting back from Oklahoma and set a commitment, and he's also going to visit Oklahoma right before this commitment date. That looks scary, and obviously like he's going to Oklahoma. Well, maybe, but he's been a lean to Alabama for a long time. His best buddies, Jamari and Jimmer, they went to school together, and they're good buddies. If he is made up his mind that he's going to Alabama, regardless, because he's already been to Oklahoma, he might go visit Oklahoma again for that game. Why not? But he still has, as we speak, an official visit planned to Alabama for after. Not an official visit, an unofficial visit. I'm sorry, he took his official this summer. So he has an unofficial visit planned to Alabama following that announcement. So there's two ways to look at this. I just have a lot of trust in our recruiting experts at Bama Insider. They're fantastic. Andrew Bone and Joseph Hastings. They're as good as anyone at what they do, and they are both as of today confident that Renaud could pick Alabama.
That's positive. Then there was some, of course, Kelby Collins will be committing on August 13th. So that's coming up. Miles McVay, who we've talked about, will be committing on August 11th. And there was another one out there, Jimmy, who's slipping my mind. I can pull it up.
Well, Raymond Polito.
There we go.
Yeah, I'm not sure Polito has a date, but Andrew Bone had a great story, did a great interview with Polito's dad, and did the story, and then has put in an RPM, meaning he's officially predicting that Polito commits to Alabama. So let's just say I'm highly optimistic on Raymond Polito joining this group. And look, there's a couple ways to look at that. Number one is he's not super highly ranked. He's not picking Alabama over Ohio State and Miami. But it's hard not to have in a evaluation when it's a camp kid. And by that, I mean, this is a kid from California that we knew was coming to camp and we wanted to take a look at. And then he comes to camp and we offer him excited about what we saw. I mean, this is a kid that this Alabama offer in camp in front of Coach Wolf, in front of Coach O'Brien, in front of Coach Saban. And if you're missing on your evaluations that occur in front of your eyeballs, I mean, I get missing on tape. Gosh knows I do, because I do that all the time. It's almost easy to miss on tape. It's less easy to miss when you go see a kid in person at their high school game. But it just seems like the easiest avowals at all to make is when you see a kid in front of your eyeballs performing the drills that you're asking him to perform, going head up against his peer group that you're also recruiting and that you want on your team. So I'm excited about Polito. It doesn't bother me that he's not ranked as high as some others.
No, I'm with you. And I think the staff likes him a lot. And look, if there's any staff that's earned some leeway when they think they like somebody. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if he gets a Bama bump. He is a 4-star on one service. He's a 3-star on 2 others. So it wouldn't shock me if he got a total bump up to a 4-star status. I know a lot of people get really concerned about that. Heck, I won't lie. I love seeing 4 stars versus 3 stars. So, I mean, I get it. That being said, Jimmy, I was just looking at the On3 message board, And man, it seems like more and more smoke for Florida on Kelby Collins, even though I keep seeing some other moderators saying, hey, I still feel good about Bama here. What are you
Right.
feeling right this minute?
Right now, if someone asked me now, I mean, my honest answer right now as we speak is I think he's going to commit to Alabama. But I'll also say that admitting, like, boy, I'm glad nobody forces me to wager on, because I wouldn't wager a lot. I'm not putting a bunch of zeros on that wager, unless we're counting the dollar and then the two zeros after that. But I think it could be Alabama. No one, I put it this way, I know of no inside, I don't even know of any inside scoop, and I'm privy to some here. I don't know of any inside scoop that says it's over, he's committing to Florida. That inside scoop doesn't exist. What does exist is, you already put it, there's a lot of smoke that it's Florida. It could be Florida, but hey, one thing about the in-state kids, I said this about Peter Woods, and I'm sticking with it. I think it would be even more so the case with Kelby. This won't be over with a commitment. Let's see if he visits. Let's see if that visit happens. And I'm saying the same thing about Peter Woods. I mean, if Peter Woods steps on Alabama's campus again before December, he's going to flip. If Kelby Collins, comes to let's say Kelby commits to Florida, and then he steps on Alabama's campus, he could flip. I don't think it would be over. But again, I think it's going to be Alabama. That's what I think today, because I haven't been told specifically otherwise that, hey, it's over and this is that. I think it's Alabama just simply because I think it's been Alabama all along. I do think Florida's made a heck of a run at him, and they're to be commended for that. Florida's not running on a track record here, right? So theoretically not recruiting like some other schools, NIL wise either. I think this is a big, I think that would be a factor. It's always going to be a factor, and we don't know what each kid is offered, but there's no way to know that. But just a good job by Billy Napier, who's a good guy. And I think if fans give him a chance, Napier would have quite a bit of success there.
All right, Jimmy, that's going to do it for today's episode. I want to encourage everybody to go check out Locked On SEC. Chris Gordy and the gang, they do an amazing job with Locked On SEC. I would also encourage everybody to go check out On 3 because Jimmy's crew over there, they just hired Andrew Bone, a friend of the program. He had a great recruiting report today that was just, if you're recruiting like me, that was just like porn. It was awesome. But anyway, that's going to do it for today's episode. Thank you guys, and we will be back tomorrow with more Locked On Bama. Until then, roll tide.
Roll Tide.